Hey, welcome to Rhymes with Vegan. I'm your host, Megan Holtgrew. A lot of people ask what a vegan is and what they eat. Well, essentially a vegan is somebody who chooses not to exploit animals. That means in your diet and in what you choose to wear. So we don't eat meat, we don't eat fish, and we don't eat any dairy. However, we eat everything else, and it's awesome. My show is about teaching you everyday cooking, all the foods you can enjoy, vegan. Glad you're with me. Let's get cooking.
You should believe me when I say that.
All right, today on Rhymes with Vegan, we're gonna take advantage of this beautiful day and we're gonna fire up the grill. We're gonna make seitan and tofu kabobs with a spicy chipotle barbecue sauce. We're also gonna make some mashed potatoes with sour cream and fresh chives from the garden. As well as on the side, we'll have some edamame with some toasted sesame oil. It's super easy to make and it's really fun and it's cheap. Come with me. All right, so I've cleaned, peeled, and cut the potatoes into small cubes like this. I've thrown it into some water, and now we're gonna season it up and then throw it on the burner. All right, so for our side dish, we decided to go with some edamame with some toasted sesame oil. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop up some garlic, throw in there for flavor. So you just wanna chop it up just like this. So we'll just take that, we'll scoop it up, we've got it nice and minced. You don't want too many big chunks because people don't like to bite into big chunks of garlic, although I do. All right, so we'll set that to the side. Then we're gonna grab some tin foil. And we're gonna lay down our edamame. You can buy edamame frozen and already shelled in a bag at your local grocer. It's very easy to find. So we're just gonna toss it in here, just like this. We'll throw in our garlic. You could add anything you want. You could add little slices of almond, you could add red pepper, anything to add flavor. It's easy, it takes on, just like everything else, it's soy-based, so it takes on any flavor that you give to it. I like to add sesame oil because it gives it a nice nutty flavor, and I think with the sweetness of the hot chipotle barbecue sauce, this is a nice match. A lot of flavor, so you want to be a little careful, but you want to make sure it gets pretty covered so that it doesn't stick to the tin foil. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cover that up. Just make it into a little pocket. It's ready to go, and we'll toss it on the grill. All right, so the main source of protein in our kebabs is going to be tofu and seitan. Now I'm sure you're wondering what seitan is. Seitan is essentially wheat gluten, and it can come in a package, a sealed package like this. You're looking at, this probably costs about $3.50 to $4. This that comes in a marinade, garlic marinade, already prepped, it's cooked. You could eat it raw if you wanted to, great and stir fried. There's also another version that comes out of a package that hasn't been marinated, so it's got a real raw flavor, which is great because it'll absorb whatever flavors you give to it. Also, we're gonna be using tofu, my personal favorite. Tofu is soybean curd. Tofu's great because, again, it takes on any flavor that you give to it. Specifically for a kebab, you really want to go for something that's got a hard texture. So the kind of tofu you want is you want a super firm tofu. You don't want silken tofu, you don't want soft or even medium. It will fall through the cracks of your grill. This you want to stick with for for your kabobs. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut up the tofu first, and all you're gonna do is just make big squares. You're just gonna slice them down just like this. It's very simple, it's great. Again, they cut easy. They don't have to be drained, which you'll notice with a lot of soft tofus, you have to drain them, which it's not like it's a big deal, but I know people are in a hurry and they prefer not to. So it's that simple. I'll probably cut them up a little bit more. They'll fit nicely on the skewers, and then they'll cook evenly. You don't want too many odd shapes. You want to stick with this. Okay, now with the seitan, the beautiful thing about seitan is it's already been cut. So you've got your chunks already ready to go. You slide these right on the skewers. Same thing with this. Cut it, drain it, throw them on the skewers, you're good to go. All right, so we're just gonna put our kabobs together. Just packing all the tofu on to one. I'll do the same thing with the seitan, the mushrooms, and the vegetables. All right, one of the things you want to do when you're working with mushrooms is you don't want to rinse them in water. You just want to lightly brush them with a cloth to get the dirt off them. If you soak them in water, they're already full of moisture. It'll just make them fat and wet. I like to do specifically with tofu and seitan is I like to base it with a peanut oil. I think it gives it a little bit of a nuttier flavor than just your regular olive oil. I'll use olive oil for the vegetables and for the mushrooms as well. Throw it on. Voila. There it is. Now we can close it and let it sit. We'll let it sit for about 4 or 5 minutes, depending upon how high you have your grill. I like to try to keep mine on a low because it's a gas grill. It's going to be a little bit different when you're using briquettes because they just run at a different temperature. Now our potatoes are ready, so we can probably get them inside and get ready to be prepped. All right, so let's talk tofu. I've got 3 different varieties. This is generally what you're going to find in a grocery store. So what we have here is we have the super firm, which is what I use for kabobs. It's best for grilling. It's firm, it doesn't need to be drained, it's not sealed in water. What we have here in the middle, this is an extra firm tofu, and similar to this, it's just that it has a little bit more water, so it comes encased in water, so you actually do have to drain this particular type. And then last but not least, I have the soft tofu, or silken tofu as you'll know it's called. This you do not want to grill. This is the type of tofu you use to make a sauce, a salad dressing, a smoothie, a vegan cheesecake. It just breaks apart and you can make a sour cream. There's a lot of options with this one, but you can't grill it because it'll fall right through the cracks. You can see this. This is the super firm. It's just solid. Okay, and this one, what I'd like to do is I'll take a slice off, and then what I'll do is I'll set it on a plate, and what I'll do is I'll drain it. So I'll set it like this, and then get a stack of plates, set it to the side, and let it drain. You probably want to let it sit there as long as you possibly can. I would say give it at least an hour. So that's what you do with that. And then again, with the soft tofu, you'll see it just breaks apart. That's the difference between the 3 different tofus. This is great for making a tofu scramble. Throw in some tamari and some veggies, and you're good to go.